let's dive right into fashion. We know having a beautiful hair and a nice outfit gives you this confidence and elegance. And right here in this video, I'll be teaching you on how to draft this beautiful pattern and outfit. As you can see, join me as I walk you down through this journey, and I promise to be insightful, exciting, and mind-blowing. So this is the pattern people are working with, and I have marked out 10 inches for my nipple to nipple, 13 inches for the underbust, 16 for the half length, and for the top length or the blouse length I'm making use of 25. And for the armhole I have 7.5 for my armhole length, and I marked the midpoint, which is 4.25, and right from this point I marked out half inch and drafted the armhole. And for the dart, my nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2, which is 4. I'd mark out 4 inches on this side, and I'll connect those lines with the ruler to get a straight line. And right from my nipple point, which is 10, I'll be marking down 1 inches, and on the half length I'm marking half inches on both sides. And right from the 1 inches which I came down from the nipple, I'll connect the line to the half inch on the bust, on the half length, to get my dart. And right from this armhole, I'll go ahead and use my tape rule and measure around the armhole. And what I have is 8.5, and half of 8.5 would give me 4.25. Then I'll mark that out and connect the dart to connect that point through the dart, because I'm trying to draft a classic princess bustier. And right from that point, I'll mark half inch on this side and half inch on the other side, and I'll go ahead and connect that line right from the nipple point down to the armhole where I've marked out half inches. And the other side I'll do the same thing for two darts, and I'll connect that line in this manner. And this is what I'll be having. And now to remove the sharp edge at that point, I'll just blend it to give it a nice curve to remove any pointy edge. And this 4 inch that I've marked here, I'll come down to the full length and mark the 4 inch, and just go ahead and connect the line with a ruler to give a straight line. Now to give me the dart length, right from that point which I've marked my 1 inch away from the nipple point, I'll measure out 11 inches. And right from the half inches on both sides from the half length, I would connect it down to the 11 inches which I've marked to the end of the darts. And this is what we'll be having, and our classic princess bustier is ready. Now to add back the excess which I'll be cutting out, that 1 inch, now to avoid being short of fabric, that 1 inch which you've marked for the dart, you're going to have to add it back. So this is 1 inch, and make sure your tape is slanted in this manner. And so we'll have to draft out our new armhole. My bust is 9. Yes, I have 9 because my bust is 36 divided by 4, which gives me 9. And I have 1 inches which I'll be removing for the dart. I'll be adding it back to the bust circumference. That is to prevent being short of fabric. And now we have the new armhole. And now we're going to have to take the waist measurement, which will be on the half length. My waist divided by 4 is 7.5 plus extra 1 inch for the dart. I'll be marking out 8.5. Just coming back to the bust, my bust, like I said, is 36 divided by 4, which is 9 plus the extra 1 inch for the dart. So my hip measurement, which I'll be taking on the half length, hip divided by 4, mine is 40 divided by 4, which is 10 plus extra 1 inch to give it this hip effect. So I'll go ahead and connect this with my ruler. I'll go ahead and draft out the shape. So this is what we have. Just make sure you connect this, and to get this hip, I like using this curve to give me the hip line. Now this is what we have. Now to give it that slanted effect, I'll be going up by 1 inch. Go ahead and mark out the 1 inch, and I'll connect to give it that curve. So I'll give it that curve in this manner. Just watch what I'm doing. So give it this curve. It's not much as 1 inch. You can make yours 1.5, 2 inches based on how high you want it. For the neckline, I'll be going in with 3.5 inches. I want it a bit wider, so I'll go in 3.5 inches. It is based on preference. If you want yours to be 4, so for the neck length, I'll also go in by 3.5. So my neck is 3.5 by 3.5, and this your neckline is based on preference. You can decide to be creative with your neckline. It's not a must is round neck, but this is what I want. Now we are done. Now don't forget the blouse has two separate lengths. One is longer than one, so I'll just go ahead and add extra 3 inch to the 25 inch, which I have a new length as 28. Now there's an opening on the blouse. I went up as high as 4 inches, and now the way the line will start from, I just want to go 3 inches from the midpoint. You could make yours for 3.5, but I just want mine to come out from the midpoint by 3 inches, just 1 inches away from the dart. Now go ahead and mark my new curve, the new curve for the other side. You know, one is longer than one, so this is the other side, which is longer than the other side. So this is what we have now. Now that dart which I have, that 4 inches I have for that dart, I will have to extend the dart line down to the side. So this dart line here, this dart line, this 4 inches, that I will have to extend it to the new full length of the blouse. So I'll just mark out 4 inches. Now I would go ahead and just use the ruler to extend it. You don't need, there's no dart, you don't need to take any time, just extend the line. So this is what we have, and this 4 inches I have is just for the opening of the blouse. The blouse has an opening if you watch it closely. So now we are done with the drafting of the blouse, and the next thing we just want to do now is go ahead and cut. So just watch how I am cutting this, because after cutting we'll still have to draft the upper part, because you know it comes in two color. It comes in, there's a black up and the other color it's down. So just gently cut out the pattern paper which you've drafted, and now we are done. This is what we have. Now this other part, I will be cutting out that 25 inch. I'll be cutting away the extra 3 inch, so I'll just go ahead and cut it out. Now I've taken out the 3 inches which I added, because that 3 inches I added is just to increase the length of the other blouse. Now just go ahead and open up this pattern paper. This is what I have now. Now I told you that, you know, the blouse has a place where there's a button and the bias, so I'll just go ahead, go from the midpoint like I did on the down. I'll mark out 3 inches. Now based on where I want my slanted line to come from, I'll just come down by 5. If you want yours to be 4, if you want yours to be 6, it is based on preference, but for me I want mine to be 5. And you know, sewing is based on preference. Now based on how deep you also want the neckline to be, for me I want mine to be as deep as 8 inches, so I marked out 8 inches. Now I'll go ahead and this 3 which I've done, I'll go ahead and connect that 3 in a straight line. So just mark out that 3 which I want, where I want to put my button and the bias. I'll just go ahead and mark out my curved shape up, and I'll just connect that other side down to the midpoint. That is the 3 which I have marked out away from the midpoint. So this is basically what I have. Now just go ahead and mark out the neckline, connect it back, so I can now go ahead and cut the neckline. Now I am done with marking out the neckline. This is what it looks like. I'll just go ahead and just make out a straight line. That is that 3 inches which I've marked away from the midpoint. I'll just go ahead and mark it out with the straight ruler, and you know, this is what it looks like. This is where the button will be. I'm just using this dot as the button line. I'll be showing you, I'll be dropping the sewing tutorial in my next video. So just go ahead and cut out the pattern which you've drafted. Just go ahead and cut the neckline gently, and after cutting the drafted pattern, this is what it looks like. This upper side will be the black color, and this other side will be the other color. Now back to the other side, the side bustier. You know, it comes in 2 lengths. One was longer, one was shorter. Now just go ahead and cut or trim out the draft of this shorter pattern, and this is what we have. One is longer and one is shorter. Now just look at this. This is what we have. This is basically the drafted pattern of the cloth. Now don't forget, for my opening I wanted it to be, I took as long as 4 inches, and I just wanted it to be a bit open, so I just marked about 0.25, or you can mark half inches. So I'll just go ahead and leave that about close to half inch. I later increased it to close to half an inch, but I didn't use almost half an inch. So I'll just go ahead and cut out that opening, because I want the opening to be obvious a bit. So I'll just go ahead and open it a bit by almost half an inch and just trim it out. So this is exactly what it is going to look like by the time you are done with this. This is how the front is going to look like. So all you just have to do is take your pattern and place on your fabric. Now for the back, I just went ahead and mark out the vertical measurement: 10 inches for the nipple points, 16 for the half length, and 25 for the full length, and 1 inches for the shoulder slant. Now now just go ahead and take that line, which is 4 inches for my nipple to nipple. When I have my nipple to nipple is 8 divided by 2, that is 4. That is why I'm marking out 4 inches. And for on the half length, just go ahead and take ½ inch for the bust. Now for the back, there is no breast at the back. The back is flat. A female back is flat, so you don't need to come down by half or 1 inch. Just take it directly from your nipple point. So I took the dart directly from the nipple point, which is 10, and I want my dart to be as long as 11 inches. So I'll just mark that out and join the drafted line in this pattern. Now we have the dart. The next thing to do is take the round body measurement. My bust is 36 divided by 4, which I have 9. Since I didn't take out any dart on that point, I'll just leave the 9 inches. No need to add any allowance. And my waist is 7.5 plus the extra 1 inch for that. I have 8.5. For my full length, I'll be taking my hips measurement. This is 10 plus extra 1 inches like I did at the front, and I have 11 inches on the full length. That is the hip length on the full length. I'll go ahead and give it that beautiful curve, which I have like this, and right from the down I'll go up by 1 inch to give it that beautiful curve. You don't want just to be too, like I said, it is all based on preference. But whatever you took at the front, make sure you're doing the same thing at the back. For the neckline, don't forget I made use of 3.5 inch, and the neck depth is 1 inch. Just go ahead and connect this. And for the zipper, I left 1.5 inches. You can make yours 2 or 1 inches. Just go ahead, and now I'm done with drafting. I'll just go ahead and cut out the pattern paper and gently cut this out, and this is what I have for the back. So for the back, just like the front, we marked out 5 inches from the armhole, so I'm marking out 5 inches, but I want this back to be as deep as 9 inches. So for the front we used 8 inches. For the back, I decided to use 9 inches to make it a bit deeper, to give it that deep V. So just go ahead and use the ruler to connect this deep V. So the upper part will be the other material, which is the black material, and the other side will just be the other colored material. So just go ahead and make use of the scissors to trim this out, and when you're done trimming, this is what we have for the back. Amazing people, we've come to the end of this video tutorial, and I hope you found this video really helpful, and by now you can create your own beautiful piece. A quick reminder, I still remain your fashion, DIY and beauty channel. Love you all.